Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsoutaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
All righty. Well, this is the inaugural broadcast of Tech Talk Live on Facebook Live. And hopefully you'll be joining us here shortly and doing a little audience building here at the beginning of the show. I guess there's no reason to give instructions to how to find us, because if they don't know how to find us, they would never hear this. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time saying that you should go to the website and click on the Tech Talk Live icon to get to us on Facebook Live. But anyway, I'm Kevin Short with Mid-South Audio. This is Tech Talk Live, and I'm here with a fine group of our technicians. We've got Gino Bailey and Michael LeCates and Dutch Hine and Austin Carter. not that I forgot your name or anything, Austin. And hosting tonight is Colin Walls. We're here in the Catch It Live studio with Colin. How you doing, Colin?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
We're ready to do this.
Yeah, let's get rolling with it.
All right. So, are we up and running? Are we good to go?
We are up and running.
Are we live
right now?
Okay. All right. So, I guess the format is going to be: we have some questions that were emailed to us in advance, and we'll probably start with those. You can comment on Facebook, and we'll take those questions as they come in. Colin will let us know. We can't see those from where we are. I can't anyway. And then we're taking calls. And you know what? I don't have here. Wait a second. I do have it now. There is a phone number just for this show, and it is 302-491-6484. That's 302-491-6484. So you can call, talk to us live. You can email us at info@midsoutaudio.com. We're monitoring that. You can also comment on Facebook Live, and any comments that come in, Colin will pass those along. So thanks for joining us, and we're looking forward to an interesting evening. The idea is to ask any question concerning audio, video, lighting. We'll do our best to answer it. If we don't know the answer, we'll find it. If we can't find it, we'll make something up. So there you go. And hopefully, come up with something that's close. So how do you want to get started?
Well, you want to get started with one of our questions?
Sure.
The email questions we had come to us. Colin, if you want to put that up on the screen, we'll read that. Okay, this is coming from Annette from Dover. She says, we have permanently installed choir mics in our sanctuary. When the choir sings from the choir loft, everything is fine. However, there are several times a year when the choir or the children's choir moves down to the steps in front of the altar. What's the best way to handle this? How many mics do we need? And the last time they did this, they used 4 wireless mics, and it did not work so well. Any help or suggestion would be appreciated.
All right, I'll start off, and then I'll pass this down here. Now, one thing that's going to probably happen, we've not discussed this, so we're going to just discuss this first live on the air. We may not all agree. there may be times doing this show that we don't agree. I will be right every time that happens. So, that's the way to figure that out. But there are a lot of different approaches. So, the scenario you just described is a scenario that's in a lot of churches where there are permanent mics mounted for a choir that is in a loft 99% of the time. Then when they move out, what do you do? Because those mics are permanent. You obviously can't use them. There are a lot of good options. Probably the two worst options would be a handheld or a wireless mic, which is what they've tried, so that didn't work. a condenser microphone and a microphone like a Flex One from Audio Technica, or no, a Flex. What am I talking about? A Flex One from Earthworks, or a Micro Boom from Audix would be the two. And do we have any pictures of those?
Yeah,
let's see which one you've got up here. These were questions submitted in advance, so we had a little bit of time to think about them. And that is
Earthworks. Yeah, that's the Earthworks.
That's the Earthworks mic with a round base. That mic is, I think it comes in a 7-foot tall version and a 9-foot
you
tall
can
version.
actually extend it a little bit too. So you can go up and down with it.
Yeah, I mean, those I've seen actually. There's pictures on their website. They're using that mic not only for a choir, but also they can bend it down and you can like mic a guitar with it for somebody seating.
Yeah, and the great part with those too, they're so small. So if you do have video going on, I mean, you're not going to be blocking everyone on stage either.
Right. And they have a great pickup pattern. That is probably the I would say my choice of the two microphones. The other mic, did you have the picture of the other one? That's the Micro Boom. That's a similar approach. It's a small. You can't see the boom in those pictures because they're all on the same boom. That boom is what, 24 inches, guys?
If that.
And then there's a 50-inch boom that sticks out. Those are portable solutions that can be moved. And with two mics, you could get in most churches, two of those microphones would probably cover about anything you need. I know Mike uses those at the Freeman stage for the symphony, or do you do the choir with the symphony too? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sometimes the choir or the symphony. It really depends. The Mid-Atlantic Symphony Orchestra always opens the Freeman stage a season, and the conductor has a tendency to change it up every year, and there's different, there'll be a rock band with them. So the Flex Wands have worked great to help pick up the string sections, even when they're playing alongside a rock band right on stage with them. So
and you get way more gain before feedback. I feel like with those
Without
than you
doing
do
much
with a
work,
wireless. And with the wireless, you're also losing quality.
Yeah, and that's the problem with a handheld mic or a regular dynamic mic or even a microphone like we're talking into. The sensitivity of that microphone is not great enough, so you don't get enough gain before feedback, and you're not gonna. It's real directional. I mean, if I move this mic and I'm talking off, then I'm gone away. That's exactly what you don't want in a choir mic. So, have we sufficiently beat this question to death?
I think you took care of it. We've got some online questions.
Oh,
here, too.
really? Okay, so there's actually people watching this.
There's people watching.
Oh, we're
so,
in now.
And so,
yeah, this is scary.
Jim had a question, and I think it's Jim from Lincoln City. He had a question.
All right.
And he wanted to know, if you're not from Delaware, we know you're in southern Delaware, Sussex County, can we still do business with Mid-South Audio?
Absolutely. And we do business all over. For the production company does business all across the country. I mean, today we were working on logistics we've got coming up in Minneapolis. Or no, St. Paul. So same thing.
Yeah.
St. Cloud. Sorry.
And then
Michigan.
Where are we going to in South Carolina there, Mike?
Greenville coming up.
Greenville, South Carolina. And we go to Wildwood, Jersey. That's coming up in about a month.
Yeah, so that's the production side. As far as the installation side, we go. Most of that stays probably as far as we like to go is like the Annapolis area. We do cross the bridge. We do some things in Newcastle County. We actually recommend that you use a company that that can service you. And once you get into the Philadelphia area or you get into the Norfolk area, sometimes we're not the best pick for that because you want to have somebody you can pick up the phone and call and they can respond. And we feel like that, the Delmarva Peninsula or just in Newcastle County is the area that we can respond to the most. But we've done jobs when we've had customers that moved, have relocated, and they wanted us to be involved. So absolutely, outside of Delaware all the time, Maryland on a regular basis, and Virginia, and we're very mobile. So.
Mm-hmm. Another question from Bryce. He wanted us to start a podcast and use his iPad to record his show. What would be a good mic that you would recommend him to get?
He has an iPad?
iPad.
What is it, MV? I didn't bring mine. It's an MV88 from Shure?
Yeah, any of the new Shure Motive mics and MV mics are all geared towards mobile devices for recording, and they give you great quality.
I really wish I don't have mine in my briefcase, but this is a little microphone that actually plugs in the new iPad. It has to have
the lightning connector.
Has to have the lightning connector. snaps in either an iPad or an iPhone. It's a little microphone. It's movable. It comes with an app that allows you to record in stereo or mono. You can adjust the polar pattern, so you can adjust the width of the recording. And the compression circuit that is in that software is just amazing. You can walk into just in front of a loud band and then walk outside and have a conversation, and the microphone will compensate for the software will compensate for all those changes, and the recording sounds absolutely wonderful. We use it to record meetings.
Yes.
It's a great.
So you say you do it for the meetings, and when we do that for the meetings, there's multiple people in the room. You don't have to be right on that microphone. If you're trying to just get one, I mean, you can still have 2-3 people and just use that one microphone instead of getting multiple ones.
On Easter Sunday, our church did a service where they did some of their own. Locally, their own produced video of different members of the congregation talking about in different situations, and they recorded it with they actually did all the video with an iPhone and one of these microphones connected to the iPhone, and the audio was great. And the interesting part is one of the videos they put up, they did before they got the microphone, and the difference between the actual microphone that was in the phone and that was like night and day. It was very, 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 very obvious. So. MV88, I think, is the microphone. That
sounds right.
Yeah. It's made by Shure, and it's available. And anybody that has a question about that, just send us an email, and we can definitely get you a quote.
You ready for another question?
We're ready.
All
Sure.
right. How about if we're having an outdoor event like an auction? Do you provide audio for events like that, or you just do concerts?
No, anything.
Anything.
If it needs audio, we've done some crazy things. We've done cattle auctions at the fair. We've done we've done pretty animal competitions.
Pig kissing.
Yeah. So if it requires audio, we'll take care of it. So.
And like you said, it's a variety of stuff. We've done everything from the Miss Delaware pageants to concerts to festivals to even wedding ceremonies on the beaches and stuff like that. So it's.
You say there's a phone call?
We have a phone call. It's Mike. Where's Mike calling from, Colin? Not sure. Okay. Mike's on the phone anyway. Let's go to Mike here on the phone. Okay.
Mike, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
All right. Ask away. You have our undivided attention.
All right. Well, I find myself recording lots of takes with Logic Pro X, and I noticed that Logic automatically saves each take when I record them, but I don't really know how to swap between those takes, and I end up with a lot more takes than necessary. I was wondering if you guys knew how to do that.
Gino, you want to field this one?
Most modern software now, it's caching that information, so you're able to. I did it in a session today where I was able to pull from. The guy liked half of the take he did the first time, and then the second time he liked the second half, and it was even halfway. It's not like I punched in or punched out, but if you use non-destructive editing, you can actually use both. You can. It's kind of neat how they kind of crossfade things like that within the software. As far as managing that stuff, if that's really what your question is how do you manage that? And I guess that's what I got something I'm asking you. Your question is?
I just can't find the option in the interface to actually go back to those.
To go back to that. So in the software we use. I'm trying to think what they call it. I think it's actually called cues.
It's definitely software specific, and we're just not we're not Logic guys. That's the
But look for something that says like cues or takes. Okay. We use two different formats in our studio, and one of them calls it a take, and the other one calls it a cue. So you're going to be looking for something like that within the software.
All right, thank you.
No, sorry, I couldn't help you more.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, thanks for the call.
Anytime. Have a good one.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right, that was our first call.
So Kevin says,
Kevin, okay.
Online, he says, great people to work with. They got a new lighting console at Clear Space Theater from Mid-South Audio. Had questions, and Dutch came out and met with the light designer and also totally redesigned your sound system. So
Oh, I thought he said totally messed it up. That's what they were going. Yeah, he destroyed it. Yeah,
No, I hope
he left
I
it.
didn't.
He left it smoking.
It'd just be more work for me to go
Cool.
fix it.
Yeah. I got to witness. I got to brag on Dutch today. He had a tech support call on the phone. Somebody called on a console that Dutch has never seen. One we don't own. Software we're not familiar with. The guy was in a flat out panic and had a show that was getting ready to come up. He had already called the person that installed it. He called the manufacturer. They didn't know the answer. And Dutch kept looking at me, and I was like, yeah, you'll get it. You'll figure it out. And sure enough, he did. He did. He figured it out and fixed it, and he was the hero. So we haven't figured out where to send that bill. But anyway. So are we going to take a break soon? You want? Yeah, are we time? Okay. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back and we'll take on some more of these questions. So thanks for sticking with us on Tech Talk Live, and we'll be right back.
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live. Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
You know, the cool thing about techs getting together and talking is that techs will share information, and I think Barry has actually answered the question on Facebook that we had, and I believe that Logic actually calls that a take. Right. So, you know, it's referred to differently in Pro Tools or in mix Bus, which is what I'm more familiar with, or Cubase.
Cubase or Nuendo or all,
yeah, and so Barry, and also Barry asked us about where we can get these shirts. Barry, the next time we go bowling together, we'll make sure you get one. Okay, we're working with Barry on a brand new church in Middletown, and so he's with Connection Community Church, and we're looking forward to that project. That's been going on for a while, and we're kind of excited about it. So,
hey, you got a shout out from the Freeman stage also. Doug Phillips says,
cool.
Love MSA. We couldn't do what we do at the Freeman stage without the crew.
Well, thank you, Doug. Thank you. Michael, thanks you.
They've got some great shows coming up this summer. It's pretty.
What a season they've got!
Yeah, they've got an incredible season.
It's the strongest season ever, and definitely get your tickets now. It's going to be a great deal. You can freemanstage.com. Is that what it is?
freemanstage.org.
.org. Yeah. So
year 10, brand new stage.
Yep.
It's going to be better than ever.
We're really excited about that. So I'm just looking through these questions here as they come up. Let's see. What have we missed?
Sleeping.
Oh, a lot of those places sound like GNTV. Yes, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that we were talking about GNTV today. So let's see. When do we sleep? Who knows? All right, what was that? You had a question about headphones?
Okay, yeah. So Bryce is asking a headphone question. He said the two big headphones brands popular amongst people are either Bose or Beats. Which do you think is a better product, or do you think there's a better product available?
Well, if you scan around the room right now, there's none of us wearing either Bose or Beats. Right. However, I own a Bose noise canceling headphones because when I'm on an airplane, I don't think there's anything that's better and more comfortable than having those on because they're noise canceling. It really depends on every when I'm at the gym, everybody in there's got Beats. It's personal preference. The headphones we use in the studio are designed for comfort. These are AKG 240s, and they are designed to be extremely lightweight, and they're considered open ear headphones, so I can put these on and hear what's going on in the room still. The headphones that Mike has are Sennheisers, and those are closed ear headphones, so you can use those at a live event. They're made to block out sound, which is more like kind of and Beats are kind of like in the middle of that. They're kind of, because they're lighter weight, but they are supposed to block out sound. So between those two, I don't really have a preference, unless you're talking about noise canceling, then I would definitely go the Bose route. But, we sell lots of headphones, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. And, a lot of people do a lot of online shopping. Our prices are as competitive as anybody that's online, and all you got to do is send us an email or give us a call, and we'll definitely take care of you that way.
And you would also help them work through what kind of headphones they need.
Absolutely,
because
questions. It is based on use. It's depending on what you're going to use with it. That's the thing. So yeah, we would be more than happy to do that.
All right. Do we want to go to another email question, or do we have some more comments on the headphones?
I think Kevin covered it.
We run that in the ground, yeah.
Colin, you got another email question for us we can put up? I caught him off guard. Okay, this is June from Middletown. She's a singer in a local band, and she wants to buy her own microphone. Which one will make me sound best?
Okay.
It's very
Now, did I talk about that part where we're not going to agree?
Well, there's that. And there's that.
Let's see. Let me just throw this out there. This is completely unrehearsed. If you had a male vocalist on a rig, on a large PA rig, and you could have one microphone on him, what would it be?
SM58.
SM58.
Yeah, lighting guy. So I'm just going to have to agree with the sound guys.
SM58.
Yeah. Okay. And I would have to say SM58. I would actually say if I were to if I was totally honest, I would have said SM57. But they're very, very close. So that may be the only thing all day that we agree on. Now, when it gets into female vocals, there's a lot of things you got to know about.
Yeah.
Because most male vocals sound extremely similar. Mm-hmm. Female vocals are widely different, and they sing at a lot different volumes. Some are loud, some are soft, some are airy, some are really gutsy. So that's the first thing is you got to figure out which microphone. But as far as a generic, really good microphone for a female, I would probably just take it up a notch from what we just said and go with a beta version, which is an Endyme capsule version of a Beta 50 or an SM58, and go with a Beta 58.
Oh, I agree 100%. But it again depends on the application, because there's a female voice out there that a Beta 58 is going to cut your head off. You know.
Yeah, and you know, probably a 2-minute conversation on the telephone with that person, hearing their voice, or letting them try out a microphone, because we have a large rental inventory. That's the one benefit that we've got. You can actually try out different microphones before you buy in your own environment. So with that, to answer that question properly, I think if it's going to be you know, there's. And the other variable is what PA is it going to be on?
Yeah.
You know, that makes a big difference.
The application.
Yeah, between the Beta and SM, I think also if you got floor monitors, you know, I've done monitors a couple times. I feel like you can get a little bit more out of that SM than that Beta. With that, the Beta is going to have more top end. And, you know, if you're trying to get a lot out of that monitor, the SM is going to work a lot better.
But if you have a person that wants to have 2 monitors and they're on either side,
Right.
the Beta is a hypercardioid, so you can get more out of that because of the same, you know. So it depends on monitor placement. So. I will say this. I'll take a couple of seconds to share a Vonda Shepard story at the Avalon. Vonda Shepard was there. Vonda Shepard had a career was on Cheers, and she came to do a show at the Avalon, and her engineer was really anal about using a Neumann. I don't know which Neumann it was. It was a Neumann condenser microphone. And he had 2. He had one at her, yeah, right, exactly. He had one at her piano position and one at the guitar position. And we sound checked at the guitar position, and everything was wonderful. And he tweaked the mic and got it sounding exactly the way he wanted. Then she went over to the piano position, and the microphone wouldn't work. So he found out that his microphone was bad. So I said, you know, let me just go and change mics, and we'll try that. And he said, you know, she really has to have this microphone. She really loves it. And so she came out. She also, that we had just happened, we never even tested the microphone. It got up. She walked out, and the first thing she did was sit down at the piano. She never even remarked that the microphone was different. And she started singing, and he says, that's the best her vocal has sounded on this tour. He said, what microphone is that? And I said, that's an SM58. You know, an SM58, for all those, if the people that don't know, is like a $100 microphone compared to this Neumann, which is like a $400 mic. So,
yeah, but you sit here and you watch the Grammys, and you have Billy Joel singing through an SM58.
That's,
you know, you see Elton John with an SM58. You see Stevie Wonder with the SM58. There's a reason for that. It's a good, solid, predictable mic.
We got a call?
We have a call. It's
all right.
D from Leonardtown. Is that what it is?
All right.
Leonardtown?
D, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, good. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, great.
And we have the whole crew here, so ask us anything.
Cool. I've been using your QSC TouchMix 30 and doing a little recording. And I know we formatted the flash drive, you know, when we started out this process, and we're recording through that flash drive. What format is that flash drive actually in? And it's a couple of parts to this question.
FAT32.
And FAT32 is the answer to that. That's the format of the drive. So okay.
What was that again? I didn't catch it.
FAT32.
Okay, FAT32. Now, I want to, the other day I did a real quick recording, acoustic guitar, lead direct box in, and one vocal. So I wanted to do a real quick conversion over to a PC or move it to a CD. Is there software or some process that I would have to go through to complete that task?
The cool thing about the TouchMix 30 is no. The answer to that question is no. All you got to do is go into virtual soundcheck mode, play back your multi-track recording from your hard drive, and then record it on the 2-track version on your the 2-track output on your USB drive, and you've got it. You can that's a
and then you just re-import it into some software on your computer to
make
burn
a CD. Sure, yeah, but you've got
a Windows Media Player. It could be SoundForge. It could be anything.
You don't have to go out of the computer to a DAW, to a digital audio workstation to do any of that mixing. You can do it all on board on that console.
That's interesting. So I go to this virtual sound check thing, and then I do a 2-track recording. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah, you can mix it down to a 2-track recording, and then you'll have exactly what. The other thing is you play back the virtual sound check, and you can listen to what you can go on stage, and this is an interesting part about that console. You can actually sound check yourself because you can go on stage. You have the console on stage. You can sing if you're guitarist and vocalist. You can record that. Then you can play it back in virtual sound check mode. You can go out and listen, and then take the iPad app that's connected to the console and make some adjustments, and then go back and do it yourself.
Actually EQing yourself before the show happens. It's
right.
kind of a cool thing.
We do go ahead, D. Sorry.
No, we did mess with that, some, and have cleaned it up, and I just didn't quite get how to, get it in a usable format. I was just going to burn a little CD real quick and give it to her because she was a young artist that dropped by my club and
that's the quickest way to do it is just burn it to or you can, even while she's going, you can directly record to the USB in 2-track mode without even having to go into that process. You can actually make a 2-track recording right in real time, and then just take that USB stick and
and I get the question all the time at live shows, can you record us tonight? And absolutely, and I first my only question is, do you have a flash drive? If you have a flash drive, I can record you tonight.
Yeah, it was very, actually, that part of it was very simple. It was very, very easy to do.
And the virtual sound check he's talking about is essentially doing the same thing. You're just assigning the outputs, and instead of multi-track recording, you're 2-track recording. You're just assigning the main outputs to go to that drive as opposed to the multi-track.
Cool. And I guess I'll run in there and see if I can figure that out.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for the call. Hopefully we answered that. We delivered a Touch Mix 30 to the Catch It Live studios tonight. So that is a very popular console from QSC right now. So it's time for a break. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more of your questions, and we'll check out these comments on Facebook and talk to you on the other side of this. Stay with us.
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live. Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Talk Live.
Well, all right, we're back. Back with more Tech Talk Live on Facebook Live. I'm Kevin Short. This is the rest of the some of the rest of the text from Mid-South Audio, and we did this. We put this together because of our conference, our Audio for the Church conference, and we thought this was a great way to do value added. Spend some time with you, and just we get questions all the time at the office, and this was a way to just do it. And it doesn't cost to join us, and you can ask us anything you want. And so thanks for. We've had a lot of people out there watching us tonight, so thanks a lot for participating.
And we've had several calls. We've got another one if you're ready.
We do. Okay, great.
This is Jim from Milton.
This is the scary part when we have calls. Yeah, Jim from Milton. Hey, Jim.
Hey there, guys. Hey, Kevin. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm doing just fine. Now, I know you guys have been around a long time, and I'm sure you've gone from tape to digital, and gosh knows what comes next. But I have a bunch of old magnetic tapes, recorded on reel-to-reel many years ago.
Right.
Mostly spoken, word on there, but and I mean they must be 25 years old. And I'm wondering about the quality of them, and do you handle them? Can you do anything with them? They probably have been stored not the best way. I don't even know if the reels are heads out or tails out, or even if that matters at this stage of the game.
Well, we actually get a lot of people. We get a lot of people that want to restore 78s. Well, not LPs, but 78s, actually records. And we get a lot of call for magnetic tape. Still, we just did a series of magnetic small. If you remember the small little 5.5-inch reels. There was a lady brought in. Her father had corresponded with her mother from Vietnam via these recordings that he made during the war. He would record them on a recorder and then send them back to the States, and she had collected them, and she gave them to the family for Christmas presents. So here's the situation with magnetic tape. In reel-to-reel formats, there were many. There was mono, there was half-track, there was half-track mono, there was quarter-track, there was stereo, and there were all kinds of different speeds. 1 7/8, 3 3/4, 15, 7.5. We can handle almost everything that I just mentioned. We can handle. Now, there are some consumer formats that were very old that all play on that we have some of these recorders actually recorded on both sides of the tape, so you would finish the reel and then turn it over, and sometimes that plays back in more than one track at a time. That's the only time we really run into a problem with a head stack, but that's rare. I mean, in the last, we're in our 28th year. I think that's happened twice. So the chances are pretty good that we can transfer it. Now, the condition of the tape, how it was stored, is critical. So if it's been in a real hot environment, the oxide can just start coming off the tape. But we can tell you that pretty quickly. And typically, every tape is probably going to be in a very similar condition. So we'll try the first one, and if we're successful with that, then it's worth doing the rest. And if we're not, then you can take them with you, no harm, no foul. And we do that all the time. And we're not,
Yeah, great.
So we've got staff at the office that would be happy to do that. So just drop them by, and we'd love to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I love your show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. All right.
See you.
Cool.
Well, we've had some questions online, Kevin.
All right.
We've had some nice job, guys. We've had some Mid-South Audio is the greatest to work with. So lots of those, several of those. They're scrolling down past where I can see them, though, so we've got a nice job.
Somebody should be writing this down. We're going to have to send out checks.
So also, to date, this is the most professional webcast I've seen. So
cool.
This is very good.
Well, that's...
I will say that all the equipment in here, audio equipment, is provided by Mid-South Audio.
And, and we couldn't do it without you guys putting this together.
And you did the installation also.
But as far as putting the show together, I kind of had this idea and threw it to Colin, and he said, sure, we could do that. And then I started sending him emails all week saying, well, let's do this and this and this. And, it all worked out.
It was started out as a microphone and an iPad.
There you go. Yeah.
So we've also got some other things. So Doug says it might be interesting for Mike to speak about some of the challenges he faces regularly when dealing with different bands, production managers on a daily basis.
Oh, I thought he wanted Mike to talk about challenges he has dealing with Doug. No, he wants it actually not dealing with Doug, but dealing with the bands. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
It's a little different in every environment you're in, so that's probably the hardest challenge. Doug mentions in this post, like the Freeman stage, until this year, it's been a very small stage. When we would bring in a national act, the hardest challenge was they're used to these massive 40-foot tall ceilings, 50-foot wide stages, and our trim height on the stage was...
I want to say it was about
12 feet.
12 feet tall, yeah.
12 feet. So that was, in the summertime when we were there, that was one of the biggest challenges. They have these rigs that are meant to be 30 feet in the air is the bottom of them, and now you only have 12 feet. So sometimes the environment is the hardest challenge, and especially outside, we're dealing with the weather. And then, the acoustics of the room. So the Avalon Theater, you mentioned, great little theater in Easton, seats about 400 people, but it's a very small room. So if you're a rock band, the challenge is dealing with them to keep their amps turned down on stage, keep the stage volume down so that you can get the best sound for everyone listening in the house.
But those challenges you were mentioning about the Freeman stage this year have the majority of those. It's going to be a whole new set of challenges because they have a brand new stage they just put in, and actually Doug has produced some videos online about the stage going in, and that's a stage line 320, which is got what's the trim height, guys? Do you know?
The new stage is 30?
It's around 28 to 30 feet tall. Yeah. I think it's a full 42 feet wide.
So you're going to the production of the shows that are coming there they're going to be taking full advantage of that. And in fact, that's the I can just see the front cover of our website, and that's a 320 on the front page of our website. That's a show from Salisbury University. So there's always challenges at every show and every environment. But that's what makes the job. It's never the same from one day to the next.
Every band's different. Every production crew is different. So,
and working at the Freeman stage is really they make it so easy for us because if the bands are treated well and are taken care of, then it makes our job a lot easier. And there's no other venue that takes care of the musicians that work there any better than the Freeman stage. And speaking of other venues, we just saw there was a post on here about someone that played Harrington Casino. What was it? Was with the band Ornament?
Yep.
And the sound guy from Ornament. That is a tribute act for Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They are an excellent tribute act, and they've been there a couple times at Christmas and done the Christmas show.
I think we've worked with them twice or three times now.
Yeah, great band, and so. So thanks for joining us on the show tonight. So,
and we got another question. How often are you going to be doing this show?
We have committed to do this show the last Tuesday of every month from now till the end of the year. So that's our plan. I don't believe there'll be all five of us here. This it almost takes a temporal shift in the planet, to get all five of us in the same room at the same time. This is the first day that we've all seen each other and we work together every day, and that's I don't think that's actually the truth. So, good evening, guys. so there will be we've committed to have at least two of us here the last Tuesday of every month till the end of the year. So, and we're looking forward to it. Sometimes there'll be three, whatever we can do.
Next question. What software should a young artist use to dip their toes into mixing? This could be a Gino question.
I've got an opinion on that, but I'll let you guys run with it.
It varies. As a starter, you could get into Cubase or something like that, I think. Cakewalk. There's all kinds of different software out there, but really the one I started on my laptop with was Cubase, and it's been around forever, and they've really been tried and true, and really they give you good support, and whenever I've had an issue, they've always been there to help me. So that's kind of where I would start. There's plenty of other stuff out there. You have Pro Tools, and that's kind of become the industry standard. But it has challenges of its own, dealing with that. So it's getting into Pro Tools can be a really big investment. But so as a young musician, somebody starting out, you really should. A lot of the keyboards and different electronic instruments come with, software and versions of the software that you can start on. that's really the place to start, I think. And your opinion?
You probably know what I'm going to say. Well, you didn't mention it, but one of the guys that used to work for us, a guy named Todd Noggle, worked for us 20 years ago, maybe. Todd went off and became a lot smarter than any of us, and got and went to Tennessee State University and is now an engineer with Harrison Consoles in Nashville. Todd's a great guy. They have just introduced a product called MixBus, which I think that, and we don't sell it. It's sold directly through them. It's nothing you can get from us. I don't have a dog in this fight whatsoever. But if I were going to, especially for the young musician, if you've got a limited budget and you want to have software that works really well and is extremely simple to use, and I mean, the first night I installed it, I mixed a song. Gino had recorded the song that afternoon. I got him to give me the files. I installed the software that night, and I mixed the software. I mixed the song that night, at home, with no tutorial, no help, nothing. It's called MixBus. It's made by Harrison Consoles. I think their website is harrison.com. And that's what. And I just got to give a shout out to Todd. He's a great guy, and he's behind that product, and that's what I would recommend.
Right, Todd, you have to get me that.
Okay, so Gino would have mentioned that tonight if he had the complimentary version of MixBus. Not that I got one. No. Okay. All right. So, but there's tons of software, but that's everything Gino said was correct. I just think that this is a brand new one. So, all right. So we need to go to break. Okay, let's go to break.
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
You gotta check that out. It's really cool. Yeah. All right, we're back talking amongst ourselves here about MixBus. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We've got what do we have? Another 15 minutes here to go tonight, and it is. We were concerned that we were going to have to be talking nonstop. So, we have a caller. Great, that's less. That's less than we have to talk. So go ahead.
Who's the caller here, Colin? This is Jeff from Federalsburg, and we got him on the line.
All right, Jeff from Federalsburg. How you doing?
All right, man. What's going on? Hey, guys.
We're trying to answer technical questions in a it's sort of almost intelligent way. We don't know.
All right, man.
So.
Well, I haven't been able to listen to all your show tonight. I've been getting ready for a gig, so I don't know if anybody's asked this or anything, but I saw on your website, man, you got a studio and everything, and I was wanting to ask some questions about that.
All right, sure. Ask us anything.
Well, I want to do a project and all, man, but when I hear these songs on the radio, a lot of the instruments sound fake, and they're not real. So,
well,
you all in your studio, what are you all using? Is it real stuff? I really like keys and real pianos and things like that. So.
Well, we definitely have the one thing that does separate home recording from a professional recording studio is the amenities, and we have a 7-foot grand Play-L keyboard. So we have a live grand piano. We have a drum kit. We have an organ.
Wow, what's your organ, man?
It would be a Hammond A3.
Oh wow!
So,
cool.
So we've got that does make we're also in the back line business. So we have rental amplifiers that are available to us, from our rental inventory. So if somebody comes in to record and they want to play the guitar through an AC30, we can do that, or through a Fender Twin, we can. So do that.
There's something I really like but I don't have. You could hook me up with that.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've never we've never charged anybody to use anything out of our backline inventory in the studio. I mean, they're paying for the studio time it comes.
That's really good, man. Because everybody, they want to rent it to you, and then you got to pay for all that.
No, if it's available, it's. I mean, we're not going to go take it off a gig, but if it's available, it's up. Right. It's yours. So that would be great. Yeah, and that's.
But the piano and all that kind of stays right there all the time.
We have absolutely. We have a lot of people that come in just to record because we have a live grand piano. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, they sound great, man. Ain't nothing like it.
That's
it. There's a lot of people say they can't tell, but you can tell when it's all done. You can't tell.
You can definitely tell, and you can definitely tell in drum world too. So that makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, live drum, man, live drums. What's your drum set? Did you say, man?
We actually have a custom kit. We have a Maryland drum kit. It was a custom kit from Maryland Drum, and
it's now called Baltimore Drum.
Yeah, now they're now called Baltimore Drum, but it's they're custom drum kit. Great sounding kit. Lots of varieties and cymbals and different sizes of drums, and then we have a full inventory of drums in our backline inventory too, with all kinds of Yamaha classic kits and
right.
So a lot of variety.
Man. So I come in, everything's all set up. All I got, bring my guys in, just sit down and do it. I don't have to worry.
That's right. That's exactly right. Or we can provide musicians for you. I mean, we just Gino finished a session the other night where we had it was all session musicians. A songwriter came in, she'd written the tunes, and then we provided all the musicians. So we can do it that way, or we can record a band as they as they present themselves. So either way. Yeah, contact us on the website, info@midsouthaudio.com, or give us a call, 302-856-6993, doing regular business hours, and we'd be happy to hook you up.
Oh, thanks, guys, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to hear.
Thanks for the call. So, that's an interesting question about the studio. That's there's the studio business when we started 28 years ago there was no option. You couldn't really record at home. It was you could record your voice at home, but you couldn't record a band. The technology wasn't there. Now, a lot of people do home recording or basement recording, and that's kind of what separates, a home recording from a professional recording studio, or what they bring to the table. So, what's next? I'm rambling. So,
next question is from David. He wants to know if there's any tips for an amateur running sound to properly EQ a wireless lapel system. No matter how much I try, it always has a thin, tinny sound. Is it the nature of the mic, or is it his technique?
EQ and a lapel's really one of the most difficult mics to work with live, because especially when you're dealing with live sound, because as the sound creates that loop and gets back into that microphone, it creates feedback. The big thing I recommend with lapels, at some point, you can EQ it the best you can, but at some point you kind of have to, I'm not going to say give up, but submit to how loud you can make it. Make it sound good, make it sound right, EQ it, the way you want it to be EQ'd. If you have to give up on volume, so be it. The person has to speak louder. At some point, it's only going to be turned up so loud before it gets feedback.
And placement is a big deal too. Make sure you're properly placing the mic. Typically, I go with chin down right here, as close as you can.
If it's tucked under your chin, a lot of times I see pastors with it because of the way the robes are made. They'll clip it right up underneath their chin. Well, your chin's in the way of your mouth,
where it rolls over on the mic.
Yeah.
So the mic's, it's like putting your hand over it.
All that stuff is important,
And another thing is with a lapel mic, you've got to pay attention to how the user has a natural inclination to turn their head.
Yeah.
If you speak and you naturally turn to the right, then the microphone should be on the right and not on the left. Because if your mic's over here and you're doing this all the time, you're going to constantly just go off mic all the time. So that's a big. But his question was about EQing, and I guess the technique that I have, and I think every one of us here has done this. We use a technique called sweeping the mic, and basically what you do is you start with the EQ flat. You're going to have usually with a lapel mic, you're going to have problems in the mid range. So you pick a frequency in the mid range and boost it. And you want to boost it, and you want to sweep it, from a lower frequency to a higher frequency, and you want to find out where that feeds back. Where that feeds back, make that cut, and then do that for the next frequency, until you have a couple of holes there, and then that's probably the best way you can, until you're not chopping it up, but you're attacking the problem frequencies. That's the best way to go. The cool thing about it is now these digital consoles, a lot of them do that for you automatically.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. If he's using analog, I mean, I would recommend getting a graph just for that lapel, because sometimes with the analog you have 2 or 3 cuts, and that's just not enough. You're going to get rid of that low end that you need and make another cut in the 3 to 500, and then you've got 1 cut left, which sometimes isn't enough. And you don't want to be going to your graph for the main PA, because then you're just going to be messing up every other microphone in music. So I would almost recommend just a graph if you don't have a digital console.
And Austin mentioned placement. Microphone placement is critical. Placement of the speaker in relationship, placement of the person talking in relationship to the speakers is also critical. Someone that wants to use a lapel mic and then stand in front of the PA, forget it. It's just not going to work.
And like Gino said, sometimes you just have to almost, like, you can't get any more out of it. And then if you do have problems with that, then sometimes you got to look for a different microphone for your purpose.
Sometimes the expertise is knowing when to quit. However, if you're having a problem with a lapel mic, the next step is to go to an over-the-ear mic, which hangs over your ear, which moves with your head, so you don't have that dropping out, and you've limited that distance. The problem with a lapel mic is it's so far away from your mouth. So
and it's going to pick up so much more around you. So if you are in front of the PA, I mean the mic's going to start picking up the PA way more than if you had an E6.
Yeah, you double the distance, you increase the gain. So
exactly, it's the inverse square law: half the distance, twice the volume. Yep. So and you can use that. It doesn't matter if it's an inch from your mouth or if it's 4 inches from your mouth. You half the distance, twice the volume. And it's just physics.
The consistency with an over the ear, I think, is going to be a lot better than a lapel, because it depends what they're wearing. Where is it clipped? Has it fallen over? It's not going to stay in that exact spot.
And then where are they staying? Because you can have a microphone that sounds great if they're in the center of the stage and they move away, and you have problems because they're closer to one speaker or the other. So there are a lot of variables in this world. So it's hard to give a definite answer, but I think we've touched on most of it.
And the one thing you do want to be careful about is over EQing. Also, because you can EQ the life right out of a microphone, and that's kind of what I was trying to get to at the beginning.
Sometimes it's best just to start over.
Yeah, just start over and make it sound good, and just not like I said, concede to how loud you can make it. Don't give up. Don't ever give up, but concede to how loud you can make it. So hope that helps.
You'll always be able to get it to not feed back, but it's not going to sound like anything you want to hear.
The pattern of the lapel mic also can play a very large part. If you happen to get an omnidirectional one not paying attention.
Me and Austin were just in a church a week ago where a guy he had 2 different lapels, and he was sticking with the one that he thought was best. And we recommended going to just a WL 185 by Shure. He put that on. He said he got twice the gain, and it sounded 3 times better than the other one. I mean, sometimes you just got to change it up. Try something different.
Yeah, and he had a really high-end Countryman. I know you were talking about. Now that mic in the church that I work in on a regular basis, I couldn't get anywhere near enough gain out of a 185. I had to go to a higher-end microphone because of orientation to speaker placement and just the way the room sounds. So, I mean, it's 2 different situations, two different answers to that same question. So. But, that's what we're here for. So if somebody has that particular question, call us, explain the parameters, and we'd be happy to weigh in on it.
Well, you guys are going to want to hear this comment. This is from Susie. She says, "You're also handsome and smart."
Well, then.
She's absolutely right.
Yeah, she was apparently talking about Austin. Yeah.
Okay, do we have another question, an email question, Colin, that we want to go to? You have one ready for us? Let's see it here. Okay, this is Joe from Lewis. The sound man and the other players in our band are constantly complaining that my guitar amp is too loud.
Of course it is. That's because it is.
I read an article once about remote miking the amp so I could put it in another room. How do I go about this?
Well, this one was one we got early on, so we were kind of prepared for this. So if you do submit questions in advance, at the office, we'll try to do our best to answer them and have some visual aid. This is a dual system from Radio. It's called an SGI transmitter and receiver, TX and RX. This is for reamping. And what you do is you take that loud guitar amp and you put it in another room. And this allows you to plug in. It converts it to a mic level signal. You can run a microphone cable as long as you want. I mean, 300 plus feet would not degrade the signal. And then you mic the amp in another room where nobody else can hear it, because A lot of guitar players are convinced, and they're probably right, I'll have to give them that the louder they play, the better it sounds. However, not everybody wants to hear it that loud, so you got to have it you got to put it in an environment where you can get it cranked up, make it sound good, and then being able to control the volume. And a system like this is, this is like $150, something like that. So a reamping system. So this is what I would recommend.
Did we have any more email questions, or is that all of them, Colin? We have more? All right, let's have them.
Wow.
I think we got time to squeeze. You know what? We don't have time to squeeze.
We're getting close. It's up to you. Do you want to do one more, and then you guys
one more? Everybody says one more. One more, okay. Colin. Let's go for one more.
All right.
Okay, Joe from Lewis. This is the same one, so...
That's the same question?
Here we go. Clarence.
We can answer it again.
Okay, so here's Clarence from Preston, Maryland. When I first started running the sound at our church, we recorded the service on cassette tape and distributed the copies. Clarence has been around for a while. Distributed copies to shut-in their communities. They switched to CDs quite a while ago and distributed them the same way. The church purchased a solid-state recorder and CD duplicator from you last year. Now the pastor wants to install a camera and stream the video live on our website. What would be involved in this process, and can the services be stored on DVD for the church archives?
Well, you are right. Clarence has been around for a while if he's going through all those formats. So, the answer to that question is it can be done. You want to talk about streaming?
The first thing I'm going to say is if you do go into video, you need to also take a look at your lighting, because once you
from a lighting guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
the guy's talking about how to archive his audio, and the lighting guy speaks up.
He said something about doing video, so I was just going to make a recommendation that you also look into lighting.
He's been waiting to jump in all day. Okay, another country heard from. Okay,
we'll move over to the sound guys.
Let's go to the streaming part of that question.
I think the question was more about the recording aspect. Nowadays, the best way to record is you're going to record on a hard drive for video, and then you would edit that, and there's a wide variety of softwares available to edit, and then you could burn a DVD for archives that way, or anymore when you record on digital hard drives, they can be hard drives, SD cards, you can just store that file digitally on any hard drive.
But I think his question was, they used to take CDs or cassettes and give them to people. He wants to stream that on the church website now. So he
wants to archive it.
Well, both. He wants to stream it.
There are new streaming.
So how's he going to stream it?
A large part of that's through video switchers. Blackmagic's what they're switching here, and Blackmagic has a brand new web presenter.
We're streaming this, right? So it's all kinds of streaming.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do it. Especially for streaming, Blackmagic has a new web presenter that's, from everyone that we've put it in so far, it's been working great. It's designed to give you the best quality video on any platform for presenting, but plenty of other manufacturers have video cards for your computers. It all kind of depends on your situation.
And that stream that he comes up with live on Sunday, he can archive so the church has it for later.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think that's where this question was going. But you do have to have lighting so you can see the image. I got that.
I'm sorry. A lot of guys do video, and then a couple months later, they want to upgrade the lighting just so you can actually see a little better. I mean, video sees. I mean, when you have a camera, you're going to see a lot more than just with your eyes.
We agree. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
There are a lot of new cameras out there.
But I do have to say, no one ever went home from a show humming the lights. So there you go. It's important, but they don't go home.
But I guess in turn they didn't see the sound either. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, no, we're giving Dutch a hard time. He's exactly right. So
depending on the show.
See, this is why we need to cut this in an hour. See, we went over, and now we're totally out of control.
And we've got one more question online. Do you want to take this one?
Sure.
All right. Sure. Last one. Any good recommendation for miking a violin? That's an interesting one.
We actually just did this for a client a few weeks ago. Countryman has a great mic for a violin. I do not know the model number off the top of my head, but clips right on the bridge of the violin, and you get great sound. I just actually mixed it a few weeks ago.
It's one of their B-series microphones. I don't know the exact model, but it's made to clip on the bridge of a violin.
Yeah, it can be used for multiple purposes, but they have a kit specifically for a violin, and it works wonderful.
Give you guys a call tomorrow morning, and you'll know what you'll be able to look up to see which one.
Send us an email, and we'll get you a quote right out for it. So
and also that's a great mic, but it can get a little pricey. Shure has solutions
depending on your budget. There's Audio Technicas
that we use.
Yep. And we're a rental house, so if you want to try one before you buy, we can get you hooked up with one. And you don't have to take a risk. You can make sure you're happy with it, and so that'd be fine. So, look, this has been fun. So it's gone quick. I want to thank everybody for participating, and we're going to do this again the last Tuesday of May, which is what month is it? What month is it? Is whatever the date is, the last Tuesday
Can't even
of May.
remember our names.
And we'll see you then. Thank you, Colin, for hosting tonight. Thank you. And thanks for putting up with us. And we'll be back here in a month.